Hello friends, welcome to learning sessions and good morning to all of you. And today in this video, as a screen says, we are going to cover the topic related to the trial balance and the rectification of the errors, adjusting and the closing entries. So please do confirm the audio video quality at the earliest. Previously, we have studied about that how to post the journal entries, how to basically journalize the entries in journal, and further so as to post the entries in the ledger. And we also learned about balancing. We also learned about the balancing. We learned about the types of different accounts. There are three types of accounts: personal accounts, real accounts, and the nominal accounts. Personal accounts, real accounts, and the nominal accounts. Okay, if cash is paid to Arnab, if you have paid the amount for sales, let's say case that you have made sales amounting rupees 30,000, sales amounting rupees 30,000, what will be the journal entry and what two accounts are involved? First of all, do confirm that what two accounts are involved in this scenario. Kindly do answer at the earliest. Which two accounts are involved for this scenario? So when you have made the sales, there are two accounts involved. One, it is related to the sales account. One account, it's related to sales account. And the other account is a cash account or bank account. Cash account or bank account, and one it is sales account. Okay, just do let me know, sales account is of which category? Sales account is of which category? Now, sale is your income or expense? Sale is your income. And all the income and expenses accounts are related to which category? Those are related to nominal category. So sales account is a nominal account. Sales account is a nominal account. And what about the cash account? What about the cash account? Cash account is which type of account? Cash is your asset. We have already covered those things in the last videos. So if you have not gone through the last videos, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and press the bell notification icon so that you can be following the upgraded videos also, and also go for the last videos. Okay. So that is actually the real account because it is related to asset. So it will be a real account. And what is the golden rule for the nominal account? The golden rule for the nominal account says debit all the expenses and losses. Whatsoever the expenses are there, losses are there, debit all the expenses and losses and credit all the incomes and gains. So if there will be any income and gain, we are to credit it, right? And if there is any loss, we are to debit it. I told you clearly that the sales account is an income account, right? So we have made the sales, so that's an income. So we will be crediting the sales account. Clear? So we will be crediting the sales account. And what about the real account? What is the golden rule? The golden rule says debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So cash is coming in now. When we have made the sale, we are receiving the cash. So cash is coming in. So debit what comes in. So the cash account is to be debited in this scenario, right? Further, we learned about how it is to be posted in the accounts. We learned all about the cash book, petty cash book, and everything. We even solved the questions based upon it in the last video, right? Now, yesterday there was no session, and today we are having the session. And let me tell you, on Sunday we will not be having any session related to the accounts, related to JAIIB. Okay, now let's move further. It's related to the trial balance. First of all, I told you the process that what we do. First of all, we do enter the transactions into the journal, then we do post them into the ledger. After that, the balancing is being done, or we do after that we prepare the trial balance. Trial balance is nothing but we do mention the balances of all the accounts from the ledger to it, all the debits and credit balances from the ledger to the sheet over here, trial balance sheet over here, and we do check the arithmetic accuracy over here, right? So what we'll be doing, we are actually having the multiple accounts in the ledger. So we'll be taking the balances of all those ledger accounts and we'll be putting them all at a single place, or just the balances from the ledger accounts to a single sheet, right? And we'll be taking all the balances and we'll be presenting it under the single worksheet at a particular time period or particular date, right? And that is the trial balance over here. So recording is done first of all, then summarizing is being done, like we summarize them in the ledger accounts, right? And after that we are going to create a worksheet and we classify the transactions. So this is being done. Okay, so trial balance is what? Trial balance is just recording the ledger balances. That's it. You just do make total of the debit sides and credit sides. When I'll be telling you, you'll be saying this was balance, this is the trial balance, this is so much easier, right? So that is the same. Let's have a look at the features and the purposes of the trial balance. So it is a list of debit and credit balances. Let's say case our sales balance is showcasing, let's say these are the particulars: serial number, particular, debit balance and credit balance. So sales is having the credit balance of 3 lakh rupees. So we'll mention 3 lakh on this side. Let's say second is account is purchases account, which is showcasing a balance of debit 1 lakh rupees. So we'll be debiting, we'll mentioning the balance on the debit side over here, right? That's it. And this total of the debit side should be matching with the total of the credit side. That is trial balancing. That is trial balancing, right? So it is a list of debit and credit balances. First of all, whatsoever the accounts are there in the ledger, we'll be putting all the account debit or credit balances from the ledgers to the worksheet. Second thing, it includes the cash and the bank balances also, right? So what's the main purpose? So as to establish the arithmetical accuracy. That is the main purpose related to the trial balance. That is a main purpose related to the trial balance, and generally it is prepared at the end of the tenure, but we can be preparing it at any time, right? We can be preparing it at any time whenever required, like on a half yearly basis, quarterly basis, monthly basis, whenever we require. And it facilitates the preparation of final accounts because these are the steps. These are the steps. First of all, journal, then ledger, then after that trial balance, then only the final statements or final accounts are to be prepared. So these are the steps which are to be followed, right? Now let's have a look at the types of the trial balance which are there. There are two types of the trial balance. One, it is related to the gross trial balance. The other one, it's related to the net trial balance. Now, what was the format related to ledger? In case of ledger, what was the format? It was quite simple. We were having the debit side on left side, we are having the credit side on right side. Let's say guys, there is entry of rupees 30,000 on the debit side and 50,000 on the credit side. How the balancing is to be done? Just to make you memorize the things, how the balancing is to be done. It should be written on the credit side or on the debit side. The balance is to be written on the debit side or credit side. Do confirm at the earliest. And in between, if you are liking the video, if you're liking the content, if you have been watching the content for longer now, right, then do give this video a like and do share it with your friends and colleagues also. So there are two balances that I have mentioned. Let's say it's Arnab's account. It's Arnab's account, and I'm going to I'm basically have mentioned the amounts over here: 30,000 on the debit side and 50,000 on the credit side. Now, how the balancing is to be done? What amount is to be written on what side? Which side is higher? Credit side is higher. That balance of the debit side is to be, the total of the debit side is to be subtracted from the credit side then. So it is 20,000 higher. Credit side is higher by 20,000 rupees. Okay. In that scenario, I am to mention 20,000 on the debit side. So as to do the balancing. Now the totals are matching. Now the totals are matching. Right? That's the first part, that how we do the balancing. But in case of the gross trial balance, In case of gross trial balance, the balancing is not to be done. The balancing is not to be done specifically. We'll be doing what? We'll be just mentioning the gross balances. Let's say gross debit balance or gross credit balance directly to the trial balance worksheet, right? So in that scenario, if we have to mention this earn-up account in the trial balance, what will be writing? Let's say its number is 1. Earn-ups account will be mentioning. Further, under the debit balance, we'll be mentioning the total of debit side, that is 30,000. And under the credit side, we'll be mentioning the total of the credit side, that is 50,000. That is it. The balancing is not to be done specifically in that scenario. That is gross trial balance, right? So we simply take the gross total of the debit side and the credit side directly to the trial balance. That is what that is a gross trial balance, right? Let's have a look at it. So we just take the total of the debit and the credit columns for each of the account, right? So we will be taking the total of the receipts, payments related to the cash book, which will be showing the cash balance, bank balance, discount columns. We just do write the name of the ledger and we just put the totals of it. That's it. Is that clear? Further, the second type is the net trial balance. In case of net trial balance, the net balance is to be calculated first of all. How the net balance is to be calculated? We just did the balancing. Now. We mentioned 20,000 on the debit side so as to balance the account. And what is the balance of this account? If we look at the balance of this account, earn-ups account, it is 20,000 credit. The balance is 20,000 credit. Now the net balance is to be mentioned in the trial balance worksheet. Now in that scenario, we'll be saying number is 1. We'll be mentioning earn-ups account. And let's say this is the debit side first of all, then the credit side over here. Under the credit side, we'll be mentioning the amount of 20,000 here. This is the net trial balance. This is related to the net trial balance. So in the case of the net trial balance, the net balances of each account are drawn. Balancing is to be done and the account balance is to be drawn, and that is only to be entered into the trial balance worksheet, right? Like if the debit side is more, the balance of the account will be debit. If the credit side is more, the account balance would be in credit, and only that particular account is to be showcased, right? And it could also be the case that there is disagreement of the trial balance. Now, what do you mean by disagreement of trial balance? Let's take the case we are having 10 accounts which were debited, which were having the debit balance, and 15 accounts which were having the credit balance. Now, this is related to the debit balance total. This is related to the credit balance total. In trial balance, I'm talking about. In trial balance sheet, I'm talking about. Let's say the sum total of the 10 accounts is rupees 3,80,000 debit. 3,80,000 debit. But in credit, we are having the amount 3,60,000 credit. Now, this should not be there. This case should not be there because the sum total of debit side must be matching with the sum total of the credit side. This would be the trial balance matching. If there is no balance matching, then we say the balance is not agreeing or there is disagreement of the trial balance. Then we simply be saying there is disagreement of the trial balance, because trial balance is just we do basically prepare the trial balance so as to check the arithmetical accuracy. So if the credit side is equal to the debit side, then we say it's all fine, it's all okay, all is goody types, right? But if the debit side is not matching with the credit balance, we say there is disagreement of the trial balance, right? Because under the double entry system of bookkeeping, every single transaction is having the dual aspect. Every single transaction is having the dual aspect, and for each equal debit there is each equal credit. There is equal credit for the same. Like we did the journal entries, whatsoever the amount is debited, that amount is also to be credited. It's not the case that the debit entry won't be basically having a credit leg with it. So when every single transaction is having the equal debit and equal credit, in total also the equals of the total of the debits should be matching with the total of the credits, right? That is a scenario that we need to understand. So trial balance is prepared for the arithmetical accuracy. And if the debit balance total is not matching with the credit balance total, then we simply say there is disagreement of the balance. That should be taken in mind, right? It means that we have not posted the entries correctly either, or it may be the case that we have taken the wrong totals from the ledger to the trial balance. Both of the cases could be there. Either we have not posted correctly, or there are some errors into it. So here comes a concept related to errors. Concept related to errors, that there is some error related to it that is to be rectified. That is to be rectified, right? So there can be some mistakes. There can be some mistakes that we have committed while we are posting into the ledgers, or when we are doing the work related to journalizing. Now, if the journal entry is put all wrong and then wrong posting is done, then definitely it is going to be very much hard so as to identify the thing. Then we need to basically, go for all the vouchers through which you have journalized the entries, right? But in case that you have posted wrong entries from journal to ledger, then you can check into it easily. Then it can be done easily. Now that leads us to the concept related to the errors. Concept related to the errors. Now we are having the different types of errors. Like we are having the clerical error, we are having the principal error. Now when we are talking about the error of principal, when we are talking about the error of principal, what does this indicate? Principal error. Now, when you're not observing the accounting principles correctly, when you're not basically recognizing the basic principles of the accounting, right? That would be what? That would be the error of principle, that you're not following the principles, right? That is a error of principle. But error of principle, just tell me from the basic point, would the error of principle be leading you to the balance disagreement? That would that be leading you to the balance agreement? Yes or no? Kindly do answer me at the earliest. So if you're not following the accounting principles, would it be the case that you'll be facing the disagreement in the trial balance? No. Why no? Let's say case, let me just give an example. Let's say case that wages were paid to the workers for the installation of the machinery, right? For the installation of the machinery, you paid some wages. You paid some wages, let's say amounting rupees 9,000. You paid for the wages for the installation of the machinery, right? Now you basically recorded it as expense. You recorded it as an expense. You basically debited the balance from the wages account, right? Because you are having the wages account and you think like it's an expense, and you recorded it under the wages account. Now, while you recorded them under the wages account, you will be debiting the account. You will be debiting the account because you say that it's a nominal account. All the expense accounts are the nominal accounts and it is to be debited, right? It is to be debited. Simple as that. But that's not the case. Why? Because the accounting principles say that whatsoever the amount which has been incurred related to the installation of the machinery, and machine is a fixed asset. Machine was a fixed asset, and the amount that you have incurred in the cost of that will go to the cost of the machinery itself. That is to be recorded in the machines account or in your asset account over there, right? So that is the case, but that won't be leading you toward the disagreement. Why? Because you debited the balance of rupees 9,000 either in the wages account or in the machines account, right? That is not going to matter to you because until in the last you'll be having the same totals. So when we are talking about the principal errors, kindly pay attention to what it is not going to affect the agreement of trial balance. It is not going to affect the agreement of the trial balance. Is that clear so far? Kindly confirm yes or no. Are you clear with this thing? Now, one we have learnt about the principal errors. The other one it's related to the clerical errors. And clerical errors are further of three types. We are having the error of omission, that you have completely omitted the entry, that we were to record something but we forgot to record something. It could be related to partial disagreement or partial omission. Now the partial omission could be related to what? That partially you have not recorded the transaction. One leg was recorded but the other leg has not been recorded by you. That is a partial omission. No, definitely the omission can be of multiple types. Now, like it was related to complete omission. Now, if you have completely omitted the entry, would it be leading to the disagreement of the trial balance? Tell me, if the balance is not mentioned on the debit side and not even on the credit side, it is not going to lead anywhere. Like it's not going to make any difference in the trial balance because you have not recorded the particular transaction itself. In case of complete omission, also there will be no issue. Also, there are no issue. So we can say the error of omission is of two types: partial omission or complete omission. Now, if there is partial omission, then definitely it is going to, you know, have an effect on the disagreement of the trial balance. It's going to have an effect because let's say you have recorded on the debit side but not the credit leg. Definitely, it's going to impact the trial balance or the either way. Let's say you have recorded the credit balance but not the debit balance, it's going to affect the trial balance. But if you have completely let go the entry, if you have completely omitted the entry, then it's not going to impact the trial balance. Further, the second one, it's related to error of commission. Error of commission. Error of commission is related to what? That you have posted the correct amount but you have posted it on the wrong side. You want to debit the account but you have posted it on the credit side, right? It could be the case that you have posted the wrong amount. You were to mention rupees 3,000 but you mentioned rupees 30,000. It could be related to wrong amount on wrong side also, that you were to debit rupees 30,000 but you credited the amount 3,000, right? And it could be a totaling error also in the subsidiary book. It could be a totaling error also. It could be the mistake in the balancing of the account also. So any of the errors, those were done during the recording of the transaction. Wrong amount mentioned, wrong side debited or credited, wrong amount debited or credited wrongly, or the posting is done wrongly, or balancing is done wrongly, all are covered under the errors of commission. All are covered under the errors of the commission, right? And further, it could also be the case related to compensating errors. Compensating errors, that one thing led to that we will be having a difference of rupees 3,000 debit. One thing led to that we'll be having the difference of 3,000 debit, and the other error led to that you're having 3,000 plus. So one thing caused that we are having 3,000 lesser, and the other error caused that where we are having 3,000 more. In that scenario, one error compensated the other error, and we won't be able to identify in our trial balance. We'll be seeing everything is good because the balances of trial balance are matching. They are agreeing with each other, but in depth, what will be there? In depth, the thing will be there that we are not able to match the things particularly because one error has compensated with the other error, and that particular example we'll be discussing very shortly. Right now, let's move ahead. First of all, it's the error of omission. Like I told you, this is a clerical error. Three types of clerical errors are there. Now we are reading about the clerical errors first of all. So error of omission is what? It is related to that when you have omitted the entry, you were to record something but you forgot to do the same, or you just recorded one side only and not the other side. Let's take the example. Goods are purchased. Goods are purchased on credit from Mr. A. Now, what will be the journal entry for this? What will be the journal entry for this? That goods are purchased on credit from Mr. A. Now, two accounts will be involved: purchases account and Mr. A account, A's account. These two accounts are involved. Now, purchases account is which type of account? Kindly do answer. Kindly do answer. Purchases account is which type of account? It is nominal account. Purchases is an income or expense? It is an expense. So it should be debited. It should be debited, right? And we have purchased the goods on credit from Mr. A. So what is a golden rule for personal account? A's account is personal account, na? A's account is personal account. So this account is to be debited or credited. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. That was the rule. Now, who has given us the goods? Person A has given us the goods, right? So person A is the giver, right? Person A is the giver. So A's account is to be credited. It is to be credited. Okay. Let's say guys, we purchase the goods amounting rupees 20,000. So 20,000 would be debited into purchase account and 20,000 is to be credited on the A's account. Now, if we forgot to record this transaction, if we forgot to record this transaction, is it going to impact the trial balance? Answer is no. It's not going to impact the trial balance then. Then it won't be causing any of the issues to the trial balance because we have not recorded the debit side, we have not recorded the credit side. Is that clear? So if we have not recorded, if we record the above transaction, then the purchases account is to be debited and the A's account is to be credited. If total total entry is not recorded, then no issues. But let's say case that we recorded into the A's account, but we forgot to post the entry into the purchases account. We have not recorded into the debit account. Which side will be more in case of trial balance? Now in this scenario, if trial balance is prepared, which side will be more? Debit side will be more or the credit side will be more? I'm giving you the scenario that if this particular purchases entry is omitted, if this leg is omitted, only this particular leg, debit leg I'm talking about, then definitely the credit side will be more than by the debit side by 20,000 rupees. Credit side will be more by the debit side by 20,000 rupees, right? Now, it's about the error of commission. I already told you there could be different things. It could be related to posting a wrong amount on the wrong side, on the correct side, wrong amount on the correct side, or correct amount on the wrong side, or posting wrong amount on the wrong side, or there could be totaling error, or it could be related to mistake committed in balancing of the ledger account. Mistake related to the balancing of the ledger account, right? It could be anything. Now, let's have a look at this question. It says, goods sold to Mr. A for rupees 5,000 recorded on the credit side. You sold the goods to Mr. A, right? What will be the journal entry? Goods account, sales account. Goods sold means sales account. Sales account is what? It is the nominal account. And nominal account golden rule says what? Debit all the losses and expenses, credit all the incomes and gains. So it is income. Selling is an income. Selling is an income. So sales account is to be credited. Sales account is to be credited. And A's account is what? A's account is personal account. Personal account golden rule says debit the receiver and credit the giver. Debit the receiver and credit the giver. So A is receiving the goods. So A's account is to be debited. It is to be debited. This would be the correct entry. That sale account will be credited with rupees 5,000 and A's account will be debited with rupees 5,000. But now we have done what? Goods sold to Mr. A. Rupees 5,000 recorded on the credit side. Rupees 5,000 credited on the credit side. So you were to put the debit entry into A's account, but we did put the credit entry. So the entry was done like that the sales account was debited and A's account was done what? It was credited. This was a wrong entry which was posted. Wrong entry posted this way. Is this clear? Now, how you can rectify this particular entry? How you're going to rectify this entry? First of all, we have to reverse this entry. Reverse this entry means what? That we have to post on the wrong side. So first part would be related to what? That will be, now when we are going to rectify this entry, I'm telling you at the same time only, we have to do what? We have to reverse the entry. It will be thinking in that way, right? So we'll be doing what? Sales account is to be credited. So let's say it was 5,000 debited and 5,000 credited. So the first correct entry would be related to, first part would be related to sales entry is to be credited with 5,000 and A's account is to be credited with 5,000. That is, sorry, A's account is to be debited with 5,000. That is the first part. The second would be related to posting the correct entry. That would be related to that the sales account is to be credited with 5,000 and A's account is to be debited with 5,000, right? So we combinedly do tell ki we are to rectify this entry. What will be doing? What will be saying that the sales account is to be credited with rupees 10,000 and A's account is to be debited with 10,000. So single entry is to be passed, is to be posted. Single entry is to be posted, right? Is that clear? Now, let's move further. It says a credit sales of goods to Mr. A for rupees 3,000 recorded correctly in the sales journal. A credit sales of goods to Mr. A. Now, what will be the nominal entry? Credit sales means sales account is involved and A's account is involved. Sales is nominal account and it's an income. So it is to be recorded with credit rupees 3,000, right? And A's account is to be recorded as what? It is basically debit the receiver, credit the giver. A is receiving the goods. So A's account is to be debited. It is to be debited for rupees 3,000, right? It's a personal account. We have just read. Now this was the actual entry which was to be passed, right? But we did what? A credit sale of goods account of goods to Mr. A for rupees 3,000 recorded correctly in the sales journal. In the sales journal, we have recorded correctly, right? But while posting to A's account, it is posted as rupees 300. Means we have undercasted the balance. We have undercasted the balance by amount of rupees 2,700 because instead of posting rupees 3,000, you posted just rupees 300. Means the account is undercasted by rupees 2,700. Is that clear? Kindly confirm. Are you clear with this particular part so far? So this is what, this is also error of commission because we have posted the wrong amount to the correct account. Wrong amount to the correct account, right? So this is basically undercasting. And further, now our debit side is short. Why? Because we were to post rupees 3,000 here. We posted just rupees 300. So our debit side is short by rupees 2,700. Debit side is short by rupees 2,700. So the debtor is understated in this scenario, right? And what will be the rectifying entry? What will be the rectifying entry over here? Journal entry. Like if we have already opened the suspense account, because whenever we are to solve, when we have prepared the trial balance now and the trial balance is not agreeing, what we do, we post the entry into the suspense account. We just post a temporary entry into the suspense account and then after that we can fix the suspense account over there, right? So that's the scenario. So we are to basically post an entry of rupees 2,700 to the A's account. We will be just simply be correcting the A's entry. We won't be posting a new entry. We'll simply be correcting this particular entry from rupees 300 to 3,000 rupees. That's it. from rupees 300 to 3000 rupees will be doing. That's a single leg correction, or we'll be just posting rupees 2700 and 2700 rupees entry toward A's account separately. That's it. That is the correction which is to be made over here. After that, the another one, it's related to an amount received from a customer Ramesh, rupees 2000, recorded correctly in the cash book, but posted to the debit side of the Ramesh account in the ledger. Now, if you have received an amount of rupees 2000 rupees from Mr. Ramesh as cash, which two accounts were involved? Ramesh account and the cash account. Which two accounts must have been involved? Ramesh account and cash account. Ramesh account is personal account and cash account is the real account. Now, Ramesh has paid the cash. So Ramesh is the giver, right? So debit the receiver, credit the giver. So credit and debit what comes in. For real account, the rule is debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So cash account is to be debited. This was to be the correct entry. So the point is that we have received the cash from Ramesh, right? So it was to be posted credit rupees 2000 to Ramesh account and debit rupees 2000 to cash account. But what was done? We have recorded it correctly. We have recorded it correctly in the cash book, but posted to the debit side. Posted to the debit side of the Ramesh account. Now what we have done, that let's say case the balance of the Ramesh was to be credited, but we have done the wrong entry. Now we'll be doing what? We'll be posting an entry amounting rupees 4000 to the Ramesh account. So as to correct it, because we have posted, we have basically debited, right? Now first of all, let's say case what entry we have made. We made the entry like cash account debited 2000 and Ramesh account to Ramesh account credited. This account was also debited. Ramesh account was also debited 2000. This is what we have done. Now first of all, we are to post the entry so as to rectify the effect of this, so as to nullify the effect of this. That is 2000 entries to be passed so as to nullify the effect, and another 2000 entry is to pass so as to make this entry appropriate, right? So in total we are to post rupees 4000 credit so as to rectify this entry. Is that clear? Or you can simply be understanding that when we credited the balance, when we basically debited the balance again, it was minus 2000 and we were to do it plus 2000. So we'll be posting plus 4000 entry. We'll be posting plus 4000 entry so as to nullify the effect. Are you clear with this? Are you able to understand what particular error was there, right? So these errors are going to disagreement of the trial balance for sure, right? Further, it's related to the compensating errors. Compensating errors. When one mistake is going to nullify the effect, wrong effect of the other mistake, it's a compensation. It's a compensating error, right? Like let's just go for this example. It says salary paid recorded as rupees 52,000. You paid salary of rupees 25,000, but it is recorded as rupees 52,000. So what was the correct journal entry? On this side, I'm going to write the correct, and on this side, I'm going to write the wrong journal entries. Okay. So salary paid is an expense. Salary paid is an expense. So it's a nominal account. So salary paid is a nominal account, and this would be related to cash account, which is a real account. So the correct entry would be that the salary account is to be debited by rupees 25,000 and cash account is to be credited with the same amount of rupees 25,000, right? But we did the wrong entry. And what entry was made? Both the accounts are involved, that the salary account and cash account, but the entry was made amounting rupees 52,000. Now your salary account and the cash account, in books those are debited by rupees 27,000 more, right? You have debited rupees 27,000 more in salary account and credited 27,000 rupees more in case of cash account. Further, the second entry, it says goods purchased rupees 30,000 recorded as rupees 3,000. You have purchased the goods rupees 30,000. Now goods purchase is what? It's a nominal account. Purchases account, we can say, is a nominal account, and this is an expense. So purchases account is to be credited. Credited with what amount? Rupees 30,000. 30,000 credit, right? And for the cash, in cash that has been purchased, so to purchases account and cash account is to be debited. It is to be debited with rupees 30,000. This should be the correct entry. This should be the correct entry. But what entry we posted? We posted like cash account is to be debited with rupees 3,000. Instead of 30,000, we recorded rupees 3,000, and to purchases account. To purchases account, rupees 3,000. Now in this scenario, what we did? We undercasted the balance in both of the accounts by rupees 27,000. So here we were having surplus. Here we were having surplus 27,000 overstated balances, and here we are having understated balance of 27,000. Now in total, if we do, these are going to compensate each other. These two errors are going to compensate with each other, and we won't be able to recognize these errors under the trial balance. Under the trial balance, we won't be able to recognize, because as per us, these the trial balance is going to agree, because one particular error is going to nullify the wrong effect of the other error here. It's going to nullify the effect of the other error here, right? So these are said to be what? These are said to be the compensating errors. These will be the compensating errors. Now let's move ahead. It's related to the error of principle. Error of principle. When you're not following the accounting principles, that is error of principle. I gave you one example also. Let's solve that particular example. Let's solve that particular example, right? So wages were paid for installation of machinery. Let's say rupees 9,000 of the wages were paid. Rupees 9,000 of the wages were paid. So first of all, we are going to post the correct entry. Now try to understand the basic related to it first of all. When I'm talking about it, we have paid the wages for the installation of the machinery. The expenses will be accounted in the machinery account as per the accounting principle, because it says any of the cost which is related to the installation, related to carriage, cartage of the machinery till it is not made usable, right? That cost is to be accountable for the machines account, your fixed asset account, right? So in this scenario, the correct entry would be related to that. Let's say case we have purchased a machinery for rupees 4 lakh. We purchased a machine for rupees 4 lakh, and we spent rupees 9,000 for the installation purposes, and for that particular purpose the wages were to be paid, right? The entry would be related to two accounts will be involved. Let's say bank account through which you have paid the balances, and the second account would be what? It will be the machine account. The correct entry would be that. Now your bank account is a real account or the any kind other account? Bank account is your real account. Why? Because it's an asset. So bank account, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Real account, golden rule, debit what comes in and credit what goes out. And when you purchase the goods, when you purchase the machine, you paid for it, right? Then your account will be debited, means you have paid the account, you have paid the balance. So it will be debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So The balance bank account is to be credited. Is that clear? The bank account is to be credited because balance is going out. The golden rule says debit what comes in. Machine is coming in. Machine is also an asset. It's also a real account. Both the accounts are real account. So machine is coming in. So it will be debited, and bank balance is going out. So it will be credited, right? So that will be the correct journal entry. Like machines account, it is to be debited by 4,09,000 debit, and to bank account 4,09,000 rupees, right? But what we did like we put the rupees 4 lakh entry separately. Machine account debited rupees 4 lakh, and to bank account credit debited rupees 4 lakh 9,000. And further, we debited the wages account. We debited the wages account because we said that we have paid the wages of rupees 9,000 for the installation purposes. We recorded it under the wages account as an expense, right? So this entry we posted this entry, whereas the entry which was to be posted was this entry. This is the correct entry, but this is the wrong entry. But this is not going to make any difference in the trial balance, because in trial balance you won't be able to recognize it. In trial balance you won't be able to recognize the things over here. Are you clear? Please confirm. Have you understand this particular point over here so far? Right? So that's about the error of principle when you're not following the accounting principles particularly. That's it. Now let's have a look at this particular point. We'll try to solve the questions and we'll try to rectify them. Goods sold to X for rupees 10,000 recorded as rupees 6,000, because you will be asked in the exams to tell the rectification entry, that what type of error is there, and it's definitely very important to understand, right? Now you have sold the goods to X for rupees 10,000. Whenever it is told in the entry, whenever it is told in the entry, the name is mentioned, it's always be a credit that has been given. So goods sold, two accounts will be involved: sales account and X account. Is that clear? First of all, so I'm going to post the correct entry first of all. So the correct entry would be what? Sales account is a nominal account and it's a income. So sales account will be credited. Sales account will be credited. I'm not posting it in a journal entry manner, just writing it over here. So 10,000 rupees credited to the sales account, and X account is to be debited, because it is to be debited or credited. Debit the receiver, credit the giver, right? So X has received the goods. X has received the goods. So X account is to be debited. So it is 10,000 debit here. Is that clear? But wrongly what was done? It was recorded as rupees 6,000. You recorded as rupees 6,000. So what error it is? First of all, it is error of commission. Let me write over here. It is error of commission. Okay, how it will be rectified? How this entry is to be rectified? Kindly do let me know how you are going to rectify this entry. See, the balances are rectified. The right account has been posted. The right account has been posted, but the wrong amount has been posted. Right? Now, if it is undercasted, you can be overcast. You can be simply be posting the difference amount. You can be posting the difference amount. That will be rectification. So what will be doing? We will be posting another entry. Sales account rupees 4,000 credit, and X account rupees 4,000 debit. That will be the rectification entry for this. Is that clear to you? Kindly confirm. Have you understood this particular part? Right? Because that was undercasted. The accounts were undercasted, but but the right accounts were posted. It was not the case that we have debited the wrong account or credited the wrong account. It was simply the case that we have not posted the right balance. So it is undercasted. Then we did what? Then we simply posted the difference amount. But let's say case that instead of rupees 10,000, we posted rupees 16,000. Let's just assume that instead of rupees 6,000, we say that we posted the entry amounting to rupees 16,000. Now in this scenario, the balances are overcasted. Overcasting is being done, right? Now, so as to compensate, the contra entries are to be passed. Contra means what? That if we are to reduce the debit effect, we'll be posting on the credit side. If we are to reduce the credit effect, we'll be posting on the debit side. That's it, right? So we were to credit it by rupees 10,000, but it was credited by rupees 16,000. Now we are to reduce the credit side by 6,000. So we'll be posting 6,000 debit in the sales account. 6,000 debit in the sales account. And same for the X account. We were to debit it by rupees 10,000, but we debited it by rupees 16,000. Now we need to reduce the debit side. We need to reduce the debit side by rupees 6,000. So we'll be posting rupees 6,000 on the credit side. In the case when we have posted more wrongly, right? In that scenario, the contra entries are to be passed. Is that clear? So that will be all related to today video, and tomorrow we are going to discuss much more concepts about it. We are going to discuss much more rectification entries, and also we are going to discuss about the errors which are not going to impact the trial balances related to the rectification of the errors and everything, right? So make sure to like this video, and so as to share this video among your friends and colleagues who are preparing for the JAIIB 2026. The JAIIB complete course is available. Simply just WhatsApp me writing JAIIB and WhatsApp it to the number 83609 44207, and I'll be posting all the details to you. So that video, thank you so much, and see you again in the next video. And further, from the next video onward, we'll be having the sessions on our application only. So make sure to download the application today itself. It is iibf.info/app, right? The next live class will be on the application or through the website. So if you want to watch it on the application, the link is given over here. And if you want to watch it through the website, it is iibf.app. The website is iibf.app, and through the application you can be downloading the application from here. So thank you so much, and see you again in the next video. Happy learning.